has started. Now, I'm going to check to make sure that the stream is working. You are on Twitch. You are on YouTube. Okay. Hit the switch that starts the clock, puts you on the air. Put the clapper in front of your face. When you hit the clapper, you are on the air.
I'm on the air. This is Russ Link again. August 28th, musical theater. I'm in 1920. Last Sunday, there was a total computer meltdown. And so some of my show got recorded and some of my show didn't. So I'm doing the whole show over again this week. And thanks to Richard Wicca for all the help in preserving some of the stuff from last week and adding new stuff this week. Anyway, truth of the matter is I'm ready to go today, and I hope everything goes well. I really, as I scratch my face and rub my fat belly, and with my favorite shirt on, you can't see it, but these are little giraffes all over my shirt. I'm in good form today, except for the fact that I make so many mistakes. I hope I don't make any more mistakes today. We'll start off, I think 2 weeks ago, I ended with something from the Night Boat of Jerome Kern, but I have some more stuff from the Night Boat. And I want to read you something from Gerald Boardman's. He said, a superb All-American entry competed with Herbert's My Golden Girl for attention. Charles Denningham offered Anne Caldwell and Jerome Kern's The Night Boat in February 12th, 1920, at the Liberty Theater. A lively romp about Bob White, who pretends to be a captain of a Hudson River boat to Albany so that he can have a fling away from home. When Mrs. Maxim, his mother-in-law, becomes suspicious and decides, I think I read this to you once before, but I love it, and decides to sail with him, White wangles the uniform of the captain, who luckily is named Robert White. But his luck doesn't hold out. Some hastily contrived explanations bring a reluctant forgiving and a promise to behave. There was as much fun in the music as in the book. The fast-stepping Whose Baby Are You and the evening's hit Left All Alone Blues topped a score filled with woefully neglected melodies. Okay, I'm going to start today thanks to Ben Bagley and his Jerome Kern Revisited number 3. I have Left All Alone Again Blues, sung by Amanda McQueen. And I'm going to start off with it now.
Time my hubby leaves me, I have the blues, because it pains me to be left here, flat here, just like a bump on a log. I sat on a log, no woman knows if she has a traveling husband just where he goes, unless she follows on and nails him, trails him, just like a faithful old dog. That old song, where has my Highland laddie gone? It says a mouthful, we never do know just where they do go, how they keep us guessing, isn't it distressing? I have the blues when my hubby leaves, although I wouldn't accuse. Each time he says goodbye, I get those same old left all alone again blues. I said I have the blues every since he married me, I sure have the blues. Because I used to have a good time all time, every time I might roam. I said when I roam, when first we met, we could render a duet, but now hubby sings. I won't go home tomorrow, never one short stanza of home, a sweet home. I like cats, I'm fond of rabbits, I like dogs, and even goldfish. It's lucky maybe, for there is a baby grand piano coming, then I'll start to humming. I have the blues, only hubby dear can cure my terrible blues. Each time he says goodbye, I get those doggone left all alone again blues. I get those doggone left all alone again blues.
Yeah, well, thank you, Amanda McQueen, and thank you for that wonderful song, Jerome Kern. Now, the truth of the matter is, if you noticed on those pictures, that drawing on the cover of Ben Bagley's Revisited, Jerome Kern Revisited Volume 3, is by Harvey Schmidt, whom I've told you over and over again, I think, in the past years, who on all the Ben Bagley recordings I've used, that Harvey Schmidt has drawn some of the most outrageous. One of these days, I should just show you a whole bunch of Harvey Schmidt photos, if I can ever get around to it. Photos of his drawings for all the dozens or so revisited recordings. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 on Cole Porter, 4 or 5 on Jerome Kern. He's got Irving Berlin. He's got Ray Henderson and Buddy DeSilva. And who's the other one? I forgot. Anyway, who was with Ray Henderson and Buddy DeSilva. They wrote so many 30s musicals. Ben Bagley, if you can ever get a hold of any of his revisited recordings, just thank God he has that all accomplished. Well, anyway, I want to keep on going here now. And the next number I have is also from Nightboat, also from the Jerome Kern Revisited number 3, Volume 3. And this is A Heart for Sale. It's sung by Adele Sardi. Now, this scene is a scene from Nightboat. I don't know just what that was.
When a girl has stayed at home for ages, it's most exciting to break out. When a wedding ring no longer cages, it's great to have the boys about. Why should I be pining for amusement or affection? Why not look for both, a matter of the right selection? I've got a heart for sale. Does anybody want to buy one? I've got a kiss for sale. Does anybody want to try one? I've got a grass widow air, a sort of what do I care if there is nothing I miss? I know the meaning of bliss, but home was never like this. I've got a close-up look. Does anybody know just what I mean? I know my little book, though simple-minded, I was never green. So in the journal and work, Tribune and Mail. I'll put a smart little ad, a woman's loving heart for sale. What I mean. Oh, we know my little book, though simple-minded, I was never green. So in the Journal and World, and in the Herald and Sun, and in the Tribune and Mail, I'll put a smart little ad, a woman's loving a heart for sale.
Yeah, the pictures that I showed you was, if you caught it when I was screaming over the record at the beginning of it, there's a scene from on the night boat. I don't know exactly of what, and then the painting reproduction was by of Louise Grody, who was the star of the show. Okay, now I have also. Now there was a recording made in I forget what year it was. I suppose I could find out, but I can't remember. It was, I don't know, something in the 1990s maybe. A very good Eddie, another show of Jerome Kern, and they didn't, when they recorded it. It's a lovely recording, but they cut out a lot of songs that were from the original score of Very Good Eddie, and added songs from other shows, and one of them they added was Good Night Boat. And so I'm going to play it to you. This is from the recording of Good Night Eddie, but Good Night Boat is a song from Night Boat. All right, here we go. Did we get all of that? Okay.
Take a little trip on my little ship. Safe as any port, bright face, all aboard. Good night, boat, the pretty greenery and scenery you view. Good night, boat, and when the river shivers, you will shiver too. And when the good old jug band starts a beat in it, you can't help but get your feet in it. Slip, slide with the tide, cling close, Hudson glide. Good night, boat, then you'll be hailing every sail and every buoy. Oh, ship, ahoy, you're just as safe as you'd be on land, for she's the sturdiest craft afloat. Good old good night boat. Good night boat, the beauty, greenery and scenery you view. Good night boat, and when the river shivers, you will shiver too. And when the good old jug band starts a beat in it, you can't help but get your feet in it. Slip, slide with the tide, cling close, Hudson glide. Good night, boat, then you'll be hailing every sail and every buoy. Oh, ship, ahoy, you're just as safe as you'd be on land, for she's the sturdiest craft afloat. Good old good night boat.
Okay, Okay, good night, boat. Now, the next thing I want to mention to you here is that at the end of the second act of The Night Boat, there was a sequence called the River Song Medley. It incorporated songs from other shows. It was by the Saskatchewan, from The Pink Lady by Ivan Carroll. I don't have that, but I do have Joan Morris singing On the Banks of the Wabash, music and lyrics by Paul Dresser. Also, I have for you Congo Love Song from Nancy Brown, music by Rosamund Johnson. I don't have Row, Row, Row today because I've played it for you so many times. But I do have Down by the Erie. I'm going to start with that from Hello Broadway by George Cohen. And it was recorded right here on the at Lockport on the Erie Canal. Let's go.
Down by the Erie, there waits my pal. Though the days are long and dreary, he declares he'll ne'er grow weary. Poor John O'Leary, I'm afraid you've lost your gal, for I've left you flat, my dear, by the Erie Canal. Da 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 da. Bum ba dum bum ba da da da. Ba da dum ba do do do. Oh, poor John O'Leary, I'm afraid you've lost your gal, for I've left you flat, my dearie, by the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal.
I love it. That's it. Okay. Down by the Erie, words and music by George Cohen, 1915, from the Chris and Ellen's Erie Canal bicycle trip, filmed in Lockport in 1911. Oh, boy. No, 2011. What am I saying? Okay, here I go. The next one is Joan Morris, and she's singing Down by the Wabash. This is from her wonderful recording After the Ball, and I love this recording. It has so many great songs on it. Here we go. It's Joan Morris and her husband, William Balcom.
Loom the woodlands clear and cool. Oftentimes my thoughts revert to scenes of childhood, where I first received my lessons, nature's school. But one thing there is missing in the picture. It seems so incomplete. I strolled by the river, arm in arm with sweetheart Mary by my side. It was there I tried to tell her that I loved her. It was there I begged of her to be my bride. Long years have passed since I strolled through the churchyard. She's sleeping there, my angel Mary dear. I loved her, but she thought I didn't mean it. Still I'd give my future, were she only here. Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash. From the fields there comes the breath of new mown hay. Through the sycamores the candle lights are gleaming. On the banks of the Wabash, far away.
Yeah. Now, actually, as a matter of fact, how wonderful that Joan Morris, she's really sort of grand on her understanding her words. So is Adele Sardi. I don't know her too terribly well. Mr. Bagley used her occasionally, but you could understand practically every word she sang, too. I love it when you can understand people's words. So, one more from the river scene, or the river medley. And this is Nancy Brown playing Congo Love Song by Rosamond Johnson. I said that was Nancy Brown, but no, that was the show that it came from. Oh, dear, I did make a mistake on that one. You know, after, and I wish I could do some more from the Night Boat, but that's it for now. The couple of other songs I'd love to have, I don't have them. But so be it. God, Jerome Kern wrote so many wonderful songs, and we have so many of them. Thanks to people like Joan Morris, thanks to people like Ben Bagley, others out there who have recorded so much of the old music. God bless them. I love it. You know, I hope you do too. You're listening, aren't you? Okay, after The Night Boat came My Golden Girl with music by Victor Herbert, 105 performances. I don't have anything from it. I can't believe that. I can't find anything from My Golden Girl. And then came a show called Tic Tac Toe with music and lyrics by a guy by the name of Herman Tinborg. I don't know him, and they only played 32 performances, and I don't have anything from that either. And then came Look Who's Here with music by Silvio Hine. I don't have anything from that either. But then came What's in a Name, and I do have something from that. And the music was by Milton Ager, Aager, and the book and lyrics by John Murray Anderson, and some collaboration with Maureen Orion and Jack Yellen. I played 115 performances, and I have one song for you from it, and that is What's in a Name. And, well, I'll tell you all about it later. What's in a Name?
Long ago when Romeo won the heart of a lady fair, though she knew his love was true, yet his name was the maid's despair. A Capulet was Juliet, and a Montague's son was he. But true love taught that names are not when the heart is young and free. And so we know 'twill ever be. What's in a name? Call the rose whate'er you may. Her fragrant charms still remain. Love is the same, call it what you will today. But on the morrow 'twill bring the same joy or sorrow. Lips need no words when the gentle kiss of spring calls to the maid and the dove. What's in a name? When two hearts are aflame, love is always love. What's in a name? Call the rose whate'er you may. Her fragrant charms still remain. Love is the same, call it what you will today. But on the morrow 'twill bring the same joy or sorrow. Lips need no words when the gentle kiss of spring calls to the maid and the dove. What in a name? When two hearts are aflame, love is always love. Who has heard the name or word that can alter my lady's charms? Change the bliss of her sweet kiss or the thrill of her tender arms. What need have birds of mortal words when they sing love's sweet melody? And what's a name or what is fame when love calls to you and me? And so we know 'twill ever be. What's in a name? Call the rose whatever you may. Her fragrant charms still remain. Love is the same, call it what you will today, but on the morrow 'twill bring the same joy or sorrow. Lips need no words when the gentle kiss of spring calls to the maid and the dove. What's in a name? When two hearts are aflame, love is always love. What's in a name? Call the rose whatever you may. Her fragrant charms still remain. Love is the same, call it what you will today, but on the morrow 'twill bring the same joy or sorrow. Lips need no words when the gentle kiss of spring calls to the maid and the dove. What's in a name? When two hearts are aflame, love is always love.
Right. Well, of course, you could understand all his words, and you did have the music and the words there to follow, but you also have to have a voice, and that man was not, didn't have much of a voice. It was something about Fred Field, I think, was the vocalist, F-E-I-L-D. Oh, well, we got to hear the song. Now, there was another song in the show that I would love to have had for you without kissing Love Isn't Love, but I thought I had it, and then I couldn't find it again. After What's in a Name is a revival of Florodora, and it played 150 performances. Now, I have here for you Tell Me Pretty Maiden, the sextet. This was from a staged production concert version of 2009 at the Lyric Theater in Chicago, I think. Well, anyway, here it is. that sextet was a 12-tet, wasn't it? They sounded very nice, though. I I don't know any more about that concert version, but thank God for people who do those things so we can hear the old music. Well, we do have recordings from Floridora time too. I think I've played them. I know I've played them for you. Anyway, after Floridora Revival, there was a show called the Edwin Carnival. It played 150 performances, and it had actually dialogue, music, and lyrics by Ed Wynn. I don't have anything from it. Okay. Then there was a show called Three Showers, 48 performances, music by Turner Layton and lyrics by Henry Creamer. I don't know them. Then was Lassie, music by Hugo Felix, 159 performances, and I don't have anything from that either. Then there was the show called The Girl from Home with music again by Sylvia Hine. Only 24 performances, so I don't have anything from that. Now, then there was a show called Honey Girl, 142 performances, opened on 3rd of May, 1920 at the Cohan and Harris Theater, and I don't have anything from it. And that had music by Albert von Tilzer of the fame of Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey, and Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but nothing from it that I could, from this show could I find. And then there was Betty Be Good, music by Hugo Reisenfeld, 63 performances, nothing from that. Then came Macushla, only 24 performances, but it starred Chauncey Olcott. And I do have him singing one of the songs from the show, Macushla Asthorne. It's a revival. Macushla is a revival of the beautiful Irish comedy Pulse of My Heart in 4 acts. Play by Rita Johnson Young, music by Ernest Ball, lyrics by J. Kern. Only this J. Kern spells his name Keirn. And it's J. Kern Brennan. So here's Macushla. Chauncey Olcott. Yeah, rotten recording, but he did have a beautiful voice, didn't he? Now, after Macushla came at the start of the 2021 season, George White's Scandals of 1920, 134 performances. It opened on June 7th at the Globe Theater, and it starred Ann Pennington, Lou Holtz, George Doc Rockwell, and Al Fox, Lacide, Lester Allen, I love these names, Ethel Delmar, George Bickel, and George White. George White's Scandals of 1920 had music by George Gershwin and lyrics by Arthur Jackson. And I have something for you. It is a recording that a guy by the name of Alan Durman actually recorded for the Drury Lane Records in 2015, and it has a piano selections of music from George White's Scandals of 1920. I want to read you a few comments from Boardman about George White's Scandals. The Scandals of 1920, the first of the annual reviews to arrive, announced the coming of summer and closed the theatrical season. Well, he says that. By other authority, Richard Norton says that it started the 2021 season. Well, anyway, they never made their mind up about this. Where it ends and where it begins, sometime in the summer. So anyway, dancing once again dominated George White's shows, but this time Ann Pennington and White had Gershwin music to tap, soft shoe, and shimmy to. The score was not strikingly good. Critics and historians have lauded Idle Dreams. I don't have that, except maybe it does appear in the piano selections. Where was I now? But the truth is, the great Gershwin still lay ahead. One song, Come On and Kiss Me, points, and you've heard that before. I had that incorporated in another song that I played for you a couple of weeks ago. Come On and Kiss Me points to the baby talk craze, which seems to have been not so much an urge to revert to infantile ways as a reaction against the last generation's persistent retention of childhood themes, less exemplified by Fred Stone's appeal. Even the show's comedy routines on prohibition set in an airship, profiteering, and politics suggested the new decade would have a tougher outlook on things. And so, Boardman has these comments that I think are good. The old decade was patently over, and with it went several eras: a wartime era, a ragtime era, and an era of easy grace and elegance. New ideas and new standards were most noisily on the way. There was a new music called jazz. There was a new optimism tempered by the light, tongue-in-cheek cynicism. They would make the seemingly modern approaches and still contemporary music of the season's best shows, Apple Blossom, Irene, The Night Boat, or Honey Girl, seem abruptly dated to faddists. Even George Gershwin's early Swanee would be put down as not real jazz. Nonetheless, the songs and the shows have remained viable and loved. Now, I want to play for you this Alan Durman recording of piano selections from the Scandals of 20. enjoyed that. And I did know a few of those songs, The Scandal Walk and Come On and Kiss Me, and a lovely song. I love that. You're on my mind the whole night through. So I think that actually, as a matter of fact, I probably will next week do some more music from the George White Scandals. And also, next week is the Ziegfeld Follies of 1920. And a few more comments from Boardman about the change from the 20 to the 21 season before the bell rings. At 4 in the morning on August 26, 1920, Tennessee's ratification of the 19th Amendment was delivered to the Secretary of State. Women would shortly have the vote. Broadway could only guess at the vast implications. Undeniably, it would bring changes, but not overnight. Certainly, they would not be so rapid as the changes brought by ASCAP's and Equity's brand new strength, both of which were bent toward immediate and meaningful theatrical reforms. Broadway's first reaction was its typical reaction in such upheavals: interpolated jokes and songs. Broadway admittedly wasn't too concerned with social significance. Broadway was booming. New theaters were opening in every direction to offer stages for the explosion of new productions. Almost 50 new musicals vied for patronage in the 2021 season, up to 10% from the previous year, and more than double the number presented at the beginning of the period. Wow. So, we have something to look forward to, particularly that 1920 Ziegfeld Follies with Fanny Brice. Oh, the cast is marvelous, and I have some songs from them by the very same people. Eddie Cantor, Ray Dooley, Carl Randall, John Steele, W.C. Fields, Mary Eaton, Doris Eaton, Jack Dorso, Donahue, Jack Donahue, Delisle Alba, Charles Winninger, Jane Carroll, Bernard Granville, Gus Van and Joe Schenck, Jerome and Herbert. I love it, Jerome and Herbert. And then, of course, Lillian Broderick, oh, well, what a cast here. What a cast. Next week, some of their music I will have for you, plus a few more songs from George White's Scandals. Good night, everybody. Loved tonight. Not too many mistakes. Okay, bye-bye. Fade to...